Good stuff. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for another Tai Chi practice. I'm just adjusting for the sunshine. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, so let's take right hand in fist, please. Left hand straight, pull back the thumb with feet together, hands together, and we press forwards. Lovely. So I've put a jumper on today because it's a little cooler in here. So I have a pale background, so hopefully you can see a nice contrast. So please excuse, there's wee white drawstrings here. Hopefully they won't be too distracting. Tuck them away. There we go. So let's feed into the four corners of the hips, please. Let's allow that movement to flow up and down through the body. Do you remember this exercise? Good, and let your breath flow. Remember, warm-up is really rather a diagnostic practice as well as just loosening the body. So we're listening and feeling into how the system is responding. You'll notice if there's any aches and pains, they'll present themselves. And so you'll know that that's what you're working with on the day. So be mindful, listen and feel, and work with what you've got. Good, and let's change direction, please. So sometimes as you warm up, you may notice that something is particularly insisting on attention, in which case you can actually add to your warm up to extra little moves to accommodate that, that issue. For me today, my neck isn't great. There's a condition called wry neck, which happens a lot in Australia. I was talking about Emmett technique before we started class today, and the creator of Emmett technique is Ross Emmett, and he's from Australia, and he treats a lot of people with wry neck. And basically wry neck is if you have been in a room with a fan or a cool breeze, and that has created a draft to the neck, and the neck has become stiff or sore or stuck in the draft. And even though I put a scarf on in bed last night because I felt a draft, I feel a bit of wry neck going on. So this exercise should help. There is, can you feel it? There is a force, the gravity is working on the neck as you do your movement, but actually I'd like to do more for the neck. So let's come back to center, and we're just going to lengthen up, please, through the top of the head, bringing the chin slightly down and back. Really stretch the neck, and let's release belly, hips and knees and sit down a little bit and think of filling the small of your back. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, really stretch the neck, and as we breathe out, we're going to turn the head to 45 degrees. And we're going to breathe in and bring it back to center. Keep lengthening the neck and turn to the other side, 45 degrees. Breathing in back to center, and breathing out, turn to 45 degrees. Breathing in back to center, lengthening the neck, and breathing out, turn. Breathing in, lengthen, keep the length in the neck, keep the chin down and back as you turn. Breathing in, lengthen, and breathing out as you turn. Good, and back to center, and release from your stance. Excellent, well done. Let's go into our Chen movement 2. That neck exercise was brought to you by Master Joe Locke, and I really like it. It is a much more gentle and sympathetic exercise to doing the head circles, which I also like actually, but Master Locke doesn't. So certainly if you have bone wasting issues in your neck, what we just did is very gentle and suitable. Whereas if you're just circling your head round, that may not be such a good idea if you have, say, osteoarthritis or osteoporosis in the neck. Good. Very nice. Let's change direction. This four-corner exercise is your go-to if you are waiting for something, if you're hanging around, if you're having to stand in a queue even, you know, keep it respectful. But it can be quite subtle. You can just do it's not circles, it's squares really of your hips. Very good. Talking of arthritis, I get arthritis, and mine, it seems to be at least partially autoimmune thing, rheumatoid arthritis, and it can be set off by allergens, basically things that annoy my immune system and make it think that they're under attack. So for example, pollen in summertime, especially when in the good old days when I went camping with my parents, I would wake up in our tent in a field and my hands would be so stiff and sore that I couldn't bend my fingers. And that was, you know, that was very small child. The other day I went into a class, let's turn center please. The other day I went into a classroom to teach, and the room had been freshly painted, and one of my fingers became so sore within seconds that I couldn't make a fist. I couldn't make a hook even. I just had to keep the fingers straight. Not pleasant. But within an hour of leaving the room, I did have a bit of arthritis in the knuckle, but other than that, the finger went pretty much back to where it was before. So that can show that sometimes an irritant, and it could be any number of things, something that we are allergic or sensitive to, can actually set off an inflammatory response within the body. So it may be an idea, if you're experiencing arthritis, that you get yourself tested for allergies. So there are allergen tests that you can have done. There are blood tests that you can have done, or there's a much gentler technique, which is called kinesiology, where they test your muscles. And if your body likes something, it'll be strong. Muscle will be strong. And if it doesn't like something, it will become weak on contact. And so you can have that tested without any invasive procedures. Let's widen our stance, please, and sit back and down. Very, very effective, quick and easy kinesiology tests. You might have to look for a kinesiologist. And often they will give you diets to eat for a specific amount of time to help your system recover from any inflammatory response. So quite often it's cutting things out of your diet. For example, wheat, grain, dairy, yeah, and possibly even some vegetables and meat. So, but worth it. Certainly you'll notice if you stick to these diets that a kinesiologist gives you, you'll feel relief from whatever you're going through. Good, so let's walk the feet in and we'll go into a much softer version. Like you're running your hands over water or through water. Beautiful. All right, so let's open our stance a little bit again. And we're going to do our single leg rotations. And with these ones, we are going out and round and in. So we're thinking of going up the blade of the foot to the little toe, to the big toe and back. So let's sit down, release belly, hips, knees, and we're going out and round and in. And we're just focusing on one leg at a time. We're doing these little circles. Now, if it hurts, say you're working with an injury, I don't want you to force the matter. What you can do to make life easier is to make your stance shorter and the movement smaller. So if it hurts, adjust. This is your mantra. If it hurts, adjust. Do not keep forcing your system into something that is giving you pain, because that will lead to further injury. But you will notice that mobilizing and warming an area will help reduce injury as well. So we have to warm, we have to, sorry, I've got drawstrings hanging down there, excuse me. We have to get the area nice and mobile. We really, it's all about energy flow, isn't it? If we have a stagnant body, if the energy isn't flowing, it will be unhappy. Let's change, please, on the other side. Gentle rotation. That's it, inwards. So gently mobilizing helps the energy flow to an area and through an area, and that in turn helps the healing process, and it helps the part of the body to function. So one of the worst things we can ever do when we're injured is to do nothing and keep doing nothing with that part. Doing nothing in the beginning is good. You know, if something is injured, just leave it alone and see if it heals itself. But if you are holding part of your body still for months on end, there is a deficit to that. It's not getting energy, it's not getting the life force flowing through it, so it's not going to heal. We need to keep moving. It's called active recovery. So adjust by all means, but keep using it even a little bit. Good, well done, hopefully. That's us nice and warm. Let's ease from our stance, have a little shake out. Notice how you feel, maybe do some cycles back. This is a nice wee way just to pump the energy and the blood up through the legs. Good. All right, let's do a little bit with the arms. Just a little swing, please. And breathe and relax. Good, and change direction. Let's stretch the elbows out to the side. Now we're going to do circles with the elbows. We bring the elbows up, we bring them forwards. Can you touch your elbows? Bring them down and back and up as high as you can, forwards, down and back. Circle. Opening and closing the chest. And let's change direction. Normally we work within the 70% rule. That's as much as you can is 100%. 70% is a comfortable cushion within that. So we're not quite forcing our body to its extreme. Good, and relax down. And let's circle those shoulders. Good. Yeah, I feel I could do with a bit of therapy on my neck. Good, and change direction, please. I am a therapist, and I have a really good deal going with a colleague of mine. We do an exchange once a month, but unfortunately she wasn't very well this time round, so we had to cancel. I think I'll be calling her up going, "Are you better yet?" Good, one at a time, please. very good to look after yourself, folks. There's lots of self-care things you can do. Obviously, eat well, sleep well, do your Tai Chi. But every so often, getting yourself a massage or some form of therapy, maybe reflexology, change direction, please, or even seaweed baths. We tend to think of it in terms of indulgence and luxury, but looking after yourself means that you can function well. So you might think of it as pampering, but actually think of it as maintenance. Look after yourself so that you can look after yourself. Good. Let's come back into center, please. We're going to take a deep breath and lift those shoulders up and relax down. And again, deep breath, lift. Let's add some fists to that. Up, 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 and good. One more time. Breathe in, lift. And very good. Ease out of your stance. Just do any little moves that you feel you need to do. And I'm going to zip up here. Hide away my beautiful school t-shirt. All right, let's do a little stretch. I don't know why, maybe because it's a bit cooler today in here, I feel more need to warm up. And warm up is never a waste. If you're not feeling that you're fully woken up in your body, by warming up, you're going to protect yourself from further injury or from any injury. So let's do our little step forwards, like so, and we'll go forwards and back, rowing our boat. Get all the clicks and crunches out. Notice the hips want to be square to the front. Good. And we have what the masters call the knee stretch. So this means we're going to keep the weight back, and you can keep the toe down for now, the front toe, but keep your leg relatively straight, your front leg straight, and you're keeping your weight back on the back leg. And you're just helping the front leg remain straight with your hands, and you're lengthening your spine. So we call it the knee stretch, but actually, can you feel it's all the way up the back of the leg? Certainly the top of the leg, you might even feel it into your back. And we keep breathing. Good. Release the front toes and pull the toes back. Now, if you can comfortably take hold, same side, hand to foot, and keep breathing, pulling those toes gently back, keeping the other hand bracing the knee. It doesn't need to be snapped back in the joint, but relatively straight. Good. Relax the foot down and gently up. Good. I think that's probably one of the most intense things we ever do in Chen Xiaowang's warm-up. Chen Zichang does a lot of intense things. Let's do it on the other side. So we're going to take a step forwards, square up, and again we just start to mobilize with forwards and back. Again, I want you to pay attention. Feel your body and notice when it hurts. Knee safety, there's lots of things to consider. We want the knees to be in line with the foot. Do you see that? I'm not rolling in or out. If you roll in or out straight away, you're going to court injury. So we want to keep the knee in line with the toe. We want to be careful that the knee does not go beyond the tips of your toe. It's fine to go so that you're above, so the knee is in line with the tip of the toe. That's fine, but beyond is courting injury. So we want to be careful. And the way to do that is to keep the hips square. Again, if you're feeling strain, make the stance smaller, and therefore the movement will be smaller. Good, and higher. You'll be higher in your stance. Very good. We want to make sure that the weight is evenly distributed across the four corners of the feet. And now let's do our stretch. So we keep the front leg straight, we sit the weight back, we keep the hips square, we lengthen the spine, just encouraging that leg nice and straight as we breathe. Again, you only ever do what you can comfortably. If it's too much, ease out of it, don't force it. Good, pull the toes back, take hold, same side, hand to foot. The other hand encouraging the knee to remain straight. Notice I'm not pushing on the kneecap, I'm pressing the leg just above the knee. Good, and put the foot down and up you come. Good. So we never want to push the kneecap itself. We can just use just that area above the kneecap. That's the thing that we're encouraging to keep the leg straight. Good. So there we have it, a bit of knee safety. Always we want to be careful not to roll in, not to roll out. Standing practice is one of the best tools for healing in our toolbox in Tai Chi. As Yinjin says, it's a complete healing practice in itself. It means that you can take your time to micro adjust any imbalances without worrying about movement or anything else. You can just relax and let go through the structures, checking and maintaining good alignment. So I would encourage you to do your standing practice. It's going to help. It's not just standing still, it's standing with awareness and with the intent of letting go through the structures. Remember, Tai Chi is based on traditional Chinese medicine as well as martial arts, and they go hand in glove. And the understanding is if energy flows, the entire system will be well. It won't have any issues on any level. But if there is restriction or stagnation in any way, it will impede the body's functions and pain and issues will arise. So our standing practice is the perfect vehicle because we are not moving, so we don't have to worry about that whole mechanical choreography or coordination, and we can feel, listen, and let go. And this thought of letting go through the body allows the energy channels to open. And though we may not be moving, actually the body has to work very hard internally to keep everything flowing and to keep all the cells maintained. We are using our muscles in a hold, just as we do when we are physically moving. So even though externally there's no movement, internally we are bathing our body very effortlessly in lots and lots of life force and lots of chi. So I encourage you, and I encourage myself, every time or even before an issue arises, do your standing practice because it will help. It will help. Now, if you're finding it painful to stand, I would encourage you to do a short stand, even 5 minutes. Just set up and see if you can get your best possible alignment, get your weight evenly across the 4 corners of your feet and relax into it and breathe. Make sure you're not over-egging it. It's not a deep stance. In fact, as long as the legs are off the lock, that's deep enough. And just allow everything to let go through the structures. Notice where the tension builds up, because that's a tell. The body is telling you, hey, this is where the stagnation is forming. So you can use that knowledge to work on letting go in that area. Now we're at the halfway point already. Wow, it goes so fast. But I would like to do just a couple of seconds of standing with you just to hammer that point home, and then we'll do our form. Okay. So if we had an hour and a half, we'd do a half-hour stand, but we've only an hour. So a few seconds, few minutes. Feet together, please. Float up, chin down and back. So in your Wu-Ji practice, take your time. Let everything settle and calm. Calm down and listen behind. Lengthen your fingers gently down. Good, release belly, hips, knees. We're doing a really speedy version. Fill your right foot, empty your left foot, open to your left and come into center. Check your feet. Now, when you're doing standing practice, always check because a millimeter out will send everything off. So make sure your feet are absolutely level, absolutely symmetrical and parallel if you can, about shoulder width. So your feet directly underneath your shoulders. This is the biggest issue I see in class. Sometimes people think their shoulders are this wide. Some people think that their shoulders are this wide. Just straight under your shoulders. So your feet are taking your weight evenly. The body weight is going through the hips, through the knees, into the feet evenly. Good. Allow your tailbone to release. Allow the small of your back to fill. Think from your belly button and relax down over the front and in and under your body to the center point. And from the small of your back, release, relax down and under. So you should feel the small of your back and the front finding an even connection to the center beneath your body. Feel the top of the head still floating up. Feel the chin slightly down and back. Even this posture, this is still, you could describe this as Wu-Ji, even with the legs open. It's very neutral. Even doing this will help with your entire system. Let go. Let go through the structures. Notice the force of gravity working on your structures. Notice the lightness at the top of the head, stretching everything out. Lengthen the fingers down and gently float forwards and up. Now, adding the arms like this is really a nod to the fact that Tai Chi is a form of martial arts. It's wrestling. So the wrestle position is here with the hands ready to rock, ready to grapple. But actually it's weight training. We are holding the weight of the arms, but we want them to release in their sockets. We want them to float. So there's no tension. So again, we're learning to engage with the body and still allow it to release and let go. Listen to your whole body and feel for tension. It's a game. Where there's tension, we find it, we feel it, we breathe into it, and we let it dissolve. Let it go. There is no tension necessary for this practice. So we want to keep good structure and let go of tension. By all means, use a mirror so that you can check what is good posture. Because often we think we're straight and then we look in the mirror and, oh, my shoulder's up. Oh, my head's not straight. So we can work on that. Gently guide the skeleton into its best alignment and then let go into that posture. So just before we finish, check, is your weight evenly distributed across the four corners of your feet? If not, that's okay. We can adjust from here, adjust from center. We can do the tiniest little movements in the center, and that will shift the weight. Like literally micro movements from center, and your feet will get sorted out. Once you find, oh yes, there we have all four corners covered, then you can return to your practice of letting go of tension. Beautiful, well done. Now, sometimes we can get into a habit of holding the body in one way, and then we think that's normal. So when we're given a correction, for example, with me, my knees tend to expand out, and that feels normal. So the correction I'm given is actually, it feels like I'm becoming knock-kneed, but actually it is just bringing me back to better alignment. So remember, what we're used to feels right because it's the new norm, it's the new normal, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. This is why we use a mirror. Good, so let's relax the arms gently down. And you know that we would then cover center. Relax to center and breathe for about 9 breaths. And then do circulations 9 times in each direction. The first time going up your right side, across and down to your left. And then the other way. And then cover center again. Recently, Yin said, actually, it doesn't matter which direction you go in. He's the master, fair enough. I like doing it the way of the large intestine first and then counter. But yeah, he's the master. Okay, let's release down. Fill your right foot, empty left, and close. Very good. So even what we just did is enough to get the ball rolling to help any issue to improve. Standing practice is one of the most beneficial health practices you can do. It has immediate and powerful effect, as I say, because it's giving your system the best structure so that energy can flow. Just think of a car. If the chassis is in good alignment, if everything is in line, if the wheels are in good alignment, the car will function very, very well. If the chassis is slightly off, if there's a little kink, or if the wheels are off, it's going to be an issue and it's going to cause the car to struggle to function, even if it functions. We had a car, a classic car. My dad had an obsession with Daimlers back in the day, a very fancy kind of Jaguar. And he got this Daimler and it went through 2 engines in the 9 years that we had it. And I think the reason was the chassis was slightly kinked. So if your structure is off, nothing will be happy, nothing. It affects everything. Everything is affected by imbalance. So we can sort everything out by alignment and relaxation. So please, if you have got out of the way of doing standing practice, give yourself a challenge. This week, every day, at least 5 minutes, stand. All right, lecture over. Let's do some Lao Jat. We've just about time to do the whole thing. Let's give it a go. So we come over to the right hand side. Let's lengthen up. And look at that, we go straight into alignment practice. It's the first thing we do before Tai Chi. Ready, start. You see, I'm making little cheat steps just to fit into the space. I encourage you to do the same. Try to keep the rhythm of the movements, but give yourself space. Relax to center. Left side gathers right. Circle down to the left. Left hand and foot come across. Prepare. You don't have to go low. Just do what you can. Turn. Gather. Left kick. 3 steps. San Tong Wei. Protect the heart. Fist under elbow. Left palm faces in. Good. Gather. Kick right. Turn. Prepare. Part 3. I'm going to take a step back. It's an added move. Can we pause there for a moment, please? Check your structure. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. Apology. So this is the end of part 3. Okay, and into part 4. Thank you, and continue. Here's your difference. Turn and flip. Stamp. Check posture. Punch. 4 corners. See the way I'm moving backwards? That's really just to reposition. Turn to face the back. iPad on horse. End game. Are we ready? And circle. Gather to the left. Left heel out, turn. This is your special punch. I'm going to come back a little for wrap in fists. Oh, that's my alarm. Keep going, please. Just hold. That's saying, Jane, stop teaching. Yeah, we're so nearly there. Okay, so we're in our position ready. Kick, step down, keep your structure, bring your right foot back. Up and over, into the front leg, kick, back, make fists, send it out. Back, relax down, expand. Jing Gong exits the temple. Think of sealing in your good energy at the base of your body. Point to the floor, release. Fill right. Empty left. And close. Relax into the floor. Feel your four corners. Letting go into the floor. And a little heel tap. Excellent. Okay, so you've got your homework. All of us, no matter what, do your stand. So every day I want you to fill the kettle, make sure you're going to use it, put the kettle on, and in the time that it takes for the kettle to boil, I want you to do your stand. That is your bare minimum for your daily practice for a whole week, and see how you feel. I've one student in my class last night who took on standing practice. There's every so often you get a student who really embraces it, and she says it has changed her life. But it used to be that there were certain things that would really stress her out, and now when she feels it coming, she just goes off into a quiet space and does a few minutes standing, and the weight of the world falls off her. Her physical health has improved, her mental health has improved because she's not so stressed. She's a happy bunny. And we can all get that benefit. There's nothing to remember. It's just stand still. It's discipline. It's not ability. Let's do it, folks. Let's improve our lives by doing nothing. Standing still. Let's just shake out, please. And a little bounce. This 100 ailments go away. In fact, let's make it better by lifting the arms and do our floppy wrists. I know it looks funny, but it's really nice lymph sequence. Really nice to stimulate that energy all through the body, and let go, let the arms swing. Feel your system bubbling up with energy. Feel it, breathe it, relax into it, enjoy, but keep that good posture. That will help the energy flow. And let's cover center, please, to finish. This helps to unify and focus the energy back into the center, recharging your batteries, filling up that reservoir. Feel into your belly. Feel the touch, the temperature of your hands flowing into center. Feel your heart rate, your breathing, your muscles, everything are just calming down. Feeling everything settle and relax back into the center. And feel your energy is stronger. Beautiful, well done, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's salute. Thank you. Have a lovely big drink now, refresh yourself, stay warm, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Well done.